Songwriting has had a long history in the art of film and television production. Music and lyrics add another dimension to the act of storytelling that can draw the audience further into a time and place where the story is being told. Combining songs into productions has also been seen as a win-win for both the marketing of a movie and the trajectory of a music artist's career. In fact, many music artists have found much success placing their songs into movie and television projects. Songs included in video games have also launched many artists' careers. Hey, my name is John DeFaria. Welcome to my studio here in Culver City, California. I've been licensing my music for the past 25 years, and to date, I've had over 10,000 music licensing placements. I'd like to show you the techniques I've learned to become more successful at licensing and placing your songs in television, film, and video game productions. So, as a songwriter, what are the steps you need to take to get your songs into movie, TV, and video game productions? In this video, I like to explore the techniques I've learned that I think will fast track you to more successful placements. I began songwriting at an early age in bands I had with my brother in high school. When I ended up at Miami, Florida after attending University of Miami, I was always very active in learning both guitar and songwriting and composition. I wrote lots of songs for a band I was working with, and then for Gloria Estefan when I joined up with her and Miami Sound Machine. My song, Get On Your Feet, was written on the back of a bus with a drum machine and my guitar. Besides the amazing pop radio airplay, the song was used for sync a number of times. In a movie starring Jennifer Beals titled Let It Be Me, in several Toyota spots, and in several episodes of NBC's Parks and Recreation. It's now also the title of a popular musical based on Gloria's life. I've always come to songwriting from more of a composer-producer perspective. That is, I don't really consider myself a singer-songwriter type of musician. I've always been a pretty good lyric and melody writer, though, which is more of that top-line role in a songwriter's toolbox. I'm a decent singer, but I'm more apt to get my wife or another professional singer to sing the songs that I write. I've gotten a number of songwriting gigs for TV and film from folks who knew I'm a composer, but also knew that I was a hit songwriter. My experience scoring lots of projects has given me a better understanding into the role a song plays when set against media. So let's say you just completed your first independent record. You're really proud of it, and your friends and family are loving it too. You've worked hard for the past 6 months writing, recording, and mixing it, and you're super stoked. It's finally out. Whew. It was a lot of work, no doubt. Good for you. Many songwriters have come to me over the years with their new record in hand, asking me how they can place their music into TV and film. What music supervisor or sync agent can they send it to who can place their songs into the next successful TV show or film, send them a nice sync check, and then jumpstart their artist career? So let's back up a moment and think about what a music supervisor and or sync agent is generally up to. First of all, a music supervisor is usually working on a television show or a movie with a certain flavor or style and is on the hunt for music that fits that style. Sure, you could send them your music, but is your music appropriate for his or her current project? Well, maybe yes, maybe no. Now, of course, you can still send out your music, but will that music supervisor even remember you or your music in 2 years' time when they're working on a project that might be more appropriate for? Maybe yes, maybe no. Remember, music supes and sync agents listen to thousands of tracks all the time. The probability they'll remember your track in 2 years' time is somewhat remote. So here's plan B for you. What television and film projects are currently in production that your songs might be a good fit for? The answer to this question is going to take some research from you. Okay, so in this age of information, there are a multitude of ways to track what television shows, movies, video games, commercials, and trailers are currently in production. That's great news. Sure, you can continue to randomly send your music out to a variety of sources, but why not put a little more data and research into your efforts? I strongly advise a system of research that works for you. Let me go over a few information sources that I use that you might find helpful. Okay, so first up is the syncrieport.com. I can't say enough about this website. It contains detailed information on top television shows and the music supervisors working on them. It also has lists of upcoming film releases, both domestic and international, ad agencies, upcoming video game releases, and trailer houses producing trailers and promos. I would say this site is a must for anyone trying to break into the music licensing industry. ProductionWeekly.com. The website Production Weekly gives you access to film and TV production opportunities coming down the pipeline. Subscribers get the latest information on projects in pre-production and development in television and film, both domestic and international. This site is geared for a number of different occupations in the entertainment industry, as well as songwriters looking for sync opportunities. The Film and Television Industry Alliance ProductionList.com. The Film and Television Industry Alliance Production List is a comprehensive tracking service that announces 20 to 40 new projects weekly, both in film and television. It has information about casting calls and job announcements on a weekly basis. Vitrina Global Film and TV Projects Tracker. Vitrina AI provides real-time visibility into the international entertainment industry. Their Global Film and TV Projects Tracker does an exhaustive scan of unreleased projects in development and production. TheHollywoodReporter.com. Pre-information aids. The Hollywood Reporter would post weekly film and TV projects in pre-production for the benefit of its magazine subscribers. They are now internet-based and have terrific insight and articles on the quickly changing movie and TV industry. My favorite magazine from a journalistic standpoint. Okay, and just simply watching TV. So I have actually gotten a few gigs just by watching television. If I have songs in my catalog that I'd like to place, sometimes I just turn on the TV and scroll through a number of shows. I'm often looking for a recurring program that I think my song might be a good fit for. Obviously, I'm listening to what they're already using on the show. And if I think my song would be a good fit, I find the music supervisor and a production company in the end credits. I then find a contact for the music soup, and if I get the green light, I send them my song. I know this sounds fairly unconventional, but I have done this and it has worked. What is funny is the music supervisor can be very amused that I found him or her this way. But why not? I call this technique going through the back door. These are but a few of my sources for research in placing my songs. If you have any other ideas for placing songs, I would so appreciate you leaving a comment below for everyone watching. Last year, a publishing company that I work with sent all of its songwriters a list of possible lyric themes for new songs that they felt were trending in the sync world. At the top of that list was female empowerment, perhaps a sign of the times. Some other top contenders were fulfilling a dream or a goal, striving towards something, new love, walking away from a toxic relationship, newfound freedom, and overcoming obstacles. If you think about it, every few years there may be trending topics to write about that pertain more to the way society is changing. Of course, there will always be evergreen topics as well, such as romantic themes, fun-loving themes, relationships gone wrong themes, etc., etc. What is sometimes difficult for a songwriter is to look outside their personal perspective and imagine themes that would work emotionally for a variety of different scenes. In other words, writing from a perspective other than your own. Can you imagine working in this way? Sure, it's another parameter put before you, another rule you have to follow. But as I've mentioned in previous videos, staying highly creative within different parameters and rules makes for better songwriters and composers. If you find you write mostly sad songs, force yourself to write a happy song. Believe me, the unique creative artist within you will come out either way. I'm not saying you should abandon what you already do best, but stretching yourself is going to give you more dimension as a songwriter and as an artist. I'm convinced that writing songs for possible placement in TV and film is going to exercise a muscle you may have been neglecting. Perhaps when you write your next record, besides more personal artist songs, you might include a few tracks geared more toward common emotions outside of your perspective that might work well for licensing. Remember that getting a placement on a popular TV show or a movie has launched many a songwriter's career. Once you place your music in a show or a video game, the music supervisor and producers might ask you for different versions of your song than you would typically place on a record. They might want just a few lines of the lyric, or they might ask you to extend your intro, etc., etc. It really comes down to what is working best for the scene they'd like to put your song in. Remember, your song needs to serve what's happening on the screen, not the other way around. It's easy to create a new arrangement if you have submixes without vocals and mixes or stems of just vocal, piano, or guitar. If you're a singer-songwriter or a hip-hop producer, rapper, and are planning on your next album release, it's a great time to plan out submixes and stems of every song on your record for possible future placements. If you're in the middle of mixing a project, it's the easiest thing to do to run off a few different mixes by just muting different elements. Whenever I've placed a song in a show or a movie, I've always had to alter the arrangement in some way to fit the scene and the story. As I mentioned, it might be as simple as deleting a lyric or two or adding a longer intro before the vocal comes in. Sometimes the director or the producer wants a certain lyric to enter at a pivotal moment in the scene. That's why it's so handy to have multiple mixes and stems of your songs. For as long as I've been around, songs and movies have been mutually beneficial to one another. The popularity of a song could make a movie more memorable, and vice versa. Audrey Hepburn's version of Moon River, written by Henry Mancini and Johnny Mercer in the movie Breakfast at Tiffany's, was one of those moments where song and picture truly became one. The Graduate, starring Dustin Hoffman and Anne Bancroft, featured a number of songs by Paul Simon, performed by Simon and Garfunkel. Paul Simon famously changed the name of the song Mrs. Robinson from Mrs. Roosevelt to fit the character in the movie so he could pitch it to director Mike Nichols, who had already rejected two of his other songs. To my knowledge, this movie was the first to feature a song score, including other Simon and Garfunkel songs such as April Come She Will, Scarborough Fair Canticle, and The Sounds of Silence. When you watch the movie, you'll notice various mixes on Mrs. Robinson that are not on the album release. These mixes serve the film more as score than features, a very innovative technique that changed the way songs were used in movies going forward. The next song movie moment for me was when Saturday Night Fever was released. The synergy created by combining the Bee Gees' new disco style with Robert Stigwood's movie about Saturday nights in a working class neighborhood in Brooklyn cemented the hit song, hit movie marriage going forward. Throughout the 80s, a movie just wasn't a blockbuster unless it contained a hit theme song. My former boss and friend, Kenny Loggins, had multiple hits and multiple blockbusters throughout the 80s. Every night we would play his hits, I'm All Right, theme from Caddyshack, Footloose, theme from Footloose, and Danger Zone, theme from Top Gun. Quite a catalog of sync, you might say. During that era, movies and songs became melded together to the point you couldn't think of one without the other. The television show Grey's Anatomy took the song score concept to another level in 2005, incorporating songs under scenes and dialogue as opposed to traditional underscore. Other groundbreaking songs in movies include My Heart Will Go On by Will Jennings and James Horner for the movie Titanic, Eye of the Tiger by Survivor in Rocky III, and Eminem's Lose Yourself in the movie 8 Mile. There are many other avenues to showcase your songs. The Society of Composers and Lyricists Song Arts Committee, of which I am a member, hosts opportunities to play songs for music supervisors a few times a year in both New York City and LA. We also produce various seminars focusing on songwriting and sync. If you're a singer-songwriter and perform your own songs, look for industry opportunities to showcase yourself. Performance rights organizations, PROs, like ASCAP, BMI, and CSAC offer multiple opportunities to showcase singer-songwriters throughout the year in various locations. As I mentioned, we all come to songwriting with different abilities: composer, producer, singer, songwriter, lyricist, etc. How you approach your career in getting placements has a lot to do with your background and expertise. You might consider joining as a friend of the Guild of Music Supervisors. The GMS hosts podcasts and events all year round. They also have a music and media conference once a year in Los Angeles. In this era of LinkedIn and Facebook, I have directly contacted film editors and directors I have admired and sent them links to my music. As long as you do it in a respectful manner, you'd be surprised how open some people are, especially if you've done your research. Know a bit about the person's career and think they might be receptive to your style of music. When writing songs geared for placement, try to stay away from specific names of people, places, etc. Don't write a song called Henry or Sarah. I say don't write about countries or cities either, but perhaps a song about New York City would work in a particular scenario. The general rule is to write about emotions or feelings when it comes to song licensing. Writing about someone's struggle through hardship is always good. Really, you can go down the rabbit hole when it comes to emotions in lyrics. I've written a number of songs about death or afterlife that have gotten place. I've written songs about having fun shopping or hanging around doing nothing on a Sunday with your sweetheart that have worked well to picture. Phrasing and melody can sometimes be important too. I've noticed that some space between lyrics can give room to an editor for dialogue. This can also be accomplished by a certain mix as well. Keep in mind when a director or producer is listening to your song, he or she is thinking about their scene and how your song will enhance it. It's so important for songwriters to try to adopt that perspective. As a rule, stay away from direct references. You're limiting potential placements by not doing so. Okay, songs for media don't necessarily need to have a contemporary feel. Maybe your band specializes in 50s doo-wop. Maybe you're a crooner like Frank Sinatra or Bing Crosby. Jazz, 50s rock, big band, folk, Christian hymns, Latin merengue, salsa, or mariachi are all have potential in music licensing. I know a range of songwriters who specialize in certain styles. They got really good at what they do and they have a great reputation for doing it. Each time a music supervisor or editor needs that style, they get the call. Maybe this is where you fit in. Do you write songs in a certain style? Would it be a project you'd consider? I wrote a whole project of original Christian hymns for a TV production company a number of years ago that I'm still receiving royalties on. Specific musical styles instantly take the audience to an exotic location and or era. It's amazing how many times I've reviewed songs for students and I have to listen to a 24-bar intro before the first verse. I begin wondering if the song actually has a vocal. If I had been a music supervisor, I would have already moved ahead in my playlist. Music soups usually listen to the first 10 seconds of a song most of the time. If something doesn't strike them in that short time span, they're on to the next. If you want to keep your intro, fine. Just create a separate pitch mix for a music supervisor to review. A pitch mix is usually a shorter mix of your song that gets right to the meat of your track. He or she would like to hear the first verse in way less than 10 seconds. Forward motion. Make sure your song has forward motion. It should take you on a journey. Don't use the same licks over and over again. The lyrics should tell a story. The arrangement can slowly build, even if it's just guitar or piano. The melody can slowly move into new places. There are no fast or hard rules, but forward motion in music just gets more placements. These are good, solid compositional tools, no matter what medium you're writing for. Songwriting is a craft. The more you write songs, the better you get at it. I once had a hit Nashville songwriter tell me, you're not really a pro songwriter until you've written at least 200 songs. Standard forms tend to be intro, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, bridge, chorus out. But there are many deviants to this form. It's really beneficial to closely analyze and tear apart successful songs that have served a movie or a TV show well. When you watch television or film, really check out the song placements. Especially check out song placements that are in your style. What is it about the songs that make the show more engaging? How does the lyric work with the scene? If the song intertwines with dialogue, check out how they made that happen. Okay, common mistakes when writing songs for TV and film. Number one, not having multiple mixes of your song to draw from. As I mentioned earlier, you won't regret having a variety of mixes to draw from when a music supervisor or producer comes looking for a song. Having a variety of mixes shows off your song in a different light. They are also helpful in creating a new arrangement if need be. Number two, Writing lyrics that limit licensing opportunities. Don't use specific names when writing songs for possible placement. If you have a story to tell, keep it fairly ambiguous and write more from an emotional perspective. Adding specific names, dates, and places to your song can limit its placement potential. If you have to write a song about your cat, go for it. But write another song about the love and affection you feel for someone or something without mentioning what it is. Number 3, not properly researching who you're pitching your song to. I went over this earlier, but it bears repeating. When you know something about the professionals you're pitching to, you have a better understanding of what might work for them. Why waste your energy and theirs by pitching them a song in a completely different style than what they're looking for? Do your best to avoid that happening. So here are some action steps. First of all, get your songs out there. Don't make excuses. Find the people to get your songs to. Do it respectfully. Listen, I've been there. I know it takes courage to pitch your songs to people. Sharing something creative and vulnerable can at times be difficult. I myself have gotten way more no's than yeses. But do what I do and turn that no into a positive. Okay, now you've created a relationship with that person. You've also found out something about what they like and what they don't like. Believe me, you can use that and harness it for future pitches and placements. Think of the word no as the beginning and not the ending of your relationship with that person. Watch TV and film and analyze how songs are used to enhance the production. What is the first thing that hits you when you hear a song during a show or a film? What is the song saying to you about the story or the characters? I've said this before, but it's amazing how humans let music sink in without realizing it. That's why the objectivity of music in media is such a powerful force. It hints at things you're not aware of. Also, hear how the song unfolds in the scene. Is it a traditional song format, or does the arrangement feel different, like it was created exclusively for the scene? Perhaps look for the song on Apple Music or Spotify and listen if it's the same mix you heard in the production. Also, how does the lyric pertain to the scene or the story? Imagine why the director thought the song was a good choice. Possibly find a niche or style you do very well and stick with that. One of the best aspects of sync is your song doesn't necessarily have to be contemporary or pop. There are all types of film and TV productions out there looking for a wide variety of styles. If you happen to excel at one of those styles, I would advise you to pursue something that helps you stand out. The artists I have seen that have done really well in sync usually have a unique style or genre that professionals come back to time and time again. This is where playing to your strengths can really pan out. Keep an accurate log of who you pitched your songs to, when, and for what project. I believe taking your pitching relationships very seriously separates the successes from the failures. Once you get started, you'll probably be pitching your material to a wide group of people. Keep detailed notes what you pitch to who and when. Don't waste time pitching the same song to the same person. It's embarrassing and unprofessional. That being said, I have sometimes pitched the same song again for different reasons, but I always tell my contact that I have pitched that song to them before. Give your professional contacts reason to trust you. Trust is the key word in the world of sync. The craft of songwriting is shifting, as is the music business in general. It's so important for the creative songwriter to stay abreast of not only the evolutions in the craft of songwriting, but also in the evolutions of the business itself. If there's anything I want you to get out of this video, it's that you'll be 50% creative person and 50% business person. A few things to keep in mind. Write like you mean it. No is not really no, and you are much stronger than you think you are. It's you who decides exactly when you become a professional, not somebody else. Find a way to channel your passions not only in your songwriting, but how you conduct yourself in the sync business. You are way ahead of the game if you do so.